Sopranos isn't just a show about organized crime. It's a study of power, status, and identity. And nothing reflects that better than the watches its characters wear. So today on the watch list, we're breaking down 5 of the most iconic watches from Season 1, what they wore, why it mattered, what it says about them, and how much these pieces would cost you today. Starting with Tony Soprano, mob boss, family man, and one of television's most complex anti-heroes. But between the therapy sessions and violent outbursts, there's one constant on its wrist, a solid gold Rolex Day-Date Presidential. It's not subtle, it's not quiet, and neither is Tony. But this watch isn't just a flashy flex piece. The Rolex Day-Date has actually long been associated with success, power, and old-school authority. It's been worn by US presidents, dictators, and tycoons, and Tony fits right in. It reflects his need for respect. He's a self-made king in a crumbling empire, holding on to tradition through a symbol that screams prestige, loyalty, and control. This particular watch is a reference 18238, a solid 18-karat yellow gold piece with a 36mm case, fluted bezel, and iconic presidential bracelet. This model came out in 1988 and is part of the 5th generation of Day-Dates. Inside is the Rolex Caliber 3155, an automatic movement with a double quickset function, meaning you can adjust the day, date, and time separately. Back in 1999, when the first season aired, the retail price on this watch was around $18,000 USD. Today, you can pick up a clean example in close to original condition for around $13,000 to $15,000. A more modern equivalent, like the reference 228238, would run you about $45,000 at retail. But on the secondary market, they're trading even higher than that. Christopher Moltisanti, wannabe screenwriter, rising mobster, and the volatile quasi-nephew of Tony Soprano. In a world of gaudy status symbols, Christopher makes a quieter, more refined choice, a gold Cartier Tank Française. It's sleek, it's elegant, and for a guy who's constantly torn between art and violence, it's surprisingly tasteful. Christopher's watch isn't just jewelry, it's aspiration. The Cartier Tank has long been a favorite of creatives, intellectuals, and old money elites. Worn by the likes of Andy Warhol and Princess Diana, it carries an aura of sophistication and restraint, a stark contrast to the blood-soaked world Chris is climbing through. And interestingly, I just recently noticed this watch on Armand, the hotel manager from White Lotus Season 1. For Christopher, it's a signal. I'm not just a thug, I'm going places. The exact watch is a reference 1840 Cartier Tank Française in solid 18-karat yellow gold. It features a 28 by 32mm rectangular case, polished gold link bracelet integrated into the case, Roman numeral dial with blue sword hands, a sapphire cabochon crown, and an automatic movement. In 1999, the retail price for a full gold Cartier Tank Française would have been around $10,000 to $12,000 USD. Today, that same watch, if well preserved, can fetch anywhere between $8,000 and $12,000 on the pre-owned market, depending on condition and box and papers. If you're looking for a modern counterpart, expect to pay upwards of $25,000 to $30,000 for the current full gold Française at Cartier boutiques. Corrado Jr. Soprano, Tony's uncle, the nominal boss of the DeMeo crime family, and a man perpetually stuck in the past. While others flaunt solid gold day dates and bold status symbols, Jr. keeps it more restrained. A classic two-tone Rolex Datejust. It's old school, it's respectable, and it's quietly telling you that he was here before any of them. It's fitting that Junior's watch sits lower on the Rolex ladder than Tony's presidential. The Datejust, while iconic, has always been more accessible. The watch of accomplished men, not emperors. And that tracks. Junior's the official boss, but everyone knows who's really in charge. His watch reflects that dynamic. Traditional, dignified, but ultimately outshone. A legacy piece worn by a legacy man in a world that's already moved on. The exact watch worn by Junior Soprano is likely a Rolex Datejust reference 1601 in two-tone steel and gold. It features a 36mm stainless steel case paired with an 18-karat yellow gold fluted bezel, a champagne pie pan dial with applied stick indices, and a date window at 3 o'clock. The watch is fitted with a two-tone Jubilee bracelet and topped with an acrylic crystal. Inside ticks the Rolex caliber 1570, a reliable automatic movement from Rolex's golden age, with hacking seconds but no quick-set date function. A fitting choice for a man who still does things the old-fashioned way. It's understated and dependable. A watch that says, I've earned my place even if no one's listening anymore. And coincidentally, I actually just recently purchased this watch for a bit of vintage flair. In the 1960s and 70s, this reference would have cost around $1,000 to $1,500 USD, depending on configuration. Today, clean reference 1601 two-tone Datejust typically trade between $3,000 and $5,000 USD, depending on dial condition, originality, and bracelet wear. It's a vintage classic that still wears beautifully. A modern equivalent of this watch would be a reference 126333, which fetches around the $15,000 mark at retail. Jackie Aprile Sr., the first boss we meet in The Sopranos, was a man who ruled with relative calm before things spiraled out of control. But by the time we hit Season 1, Episode 13, I Dream of Jeannie Cusimano, Jackie is already gone, taken by cancer. But his memory lives on, and so does this watch. And in a bizarre turn of events, Rosalie Aprile ends up gifting Jackie's old watch to Father Phil in Tintola. That watch, a two-tone Rolex Daytona. Jackie's Daytona isn't just expensive, it's aspirational. Unlike Junior's old-school Datejust or Tony's flashy presidential, it's a modern symbol of success, sharp, sporty, and confident. And this is very fitting for Jackie, a diplomatic boss who could command respect at the table and still blend in at Sunday dinner. The exact watch is a Rolex Daytona reference 16523, produced from the late 1980s through the late 1990s. It features a 40mm stainless steel case with an 18-karat yellow gold bezel, screw-down chronograph pushers, and a two-tone oyster bracelet. It runs on the legendary Rolex caliber 4030, a heavily modified Zenith El Primero movement known for its reliability and precision. Though it doesn't feature an actual millennial countdown like Father Phil mentioned, the chronograph subdials could easily confuse a non-watch expert like Father Phil. In the late 1990s, Jackie's Rolex Daytona would have retailed for around $7,500 to $9,000 USD, depending on the dial configuration. Today, clean examples of the 16523 trade on the secondary market for anywhere between $15,000 and $22,000, with rare dial variants or full sets commanding even more. Carmela Soprano, suburban queen, devout Catholic, and the iron-willed matriarch of the Soprano household. Always immaculately dressed and never seen without gold hoops or French tips, Carmela understood that appearances matter. So it's no surprise that, like her husband, she wore a Rolex. But her choice was the elegant and versatile two-tone Datejust on a Jubilee bracelet. It's classy, it's feminine, and it perfectly matches her stacks of gold jewelry. Carmela's Datejust isn't about timekeeping, it's about status. It's a symbol of her role as both loyal wife and high-ranking woman in mob society. Not as flashy as Tony's presidential, but still unmistakably expensive, it reflects how she balances traditional values with material ambition. The exact watch appears to be a Rolex Datejust reference 69173, a mid-size or ladies model produced throughout the 1980s and 1990s. It features a 26mm stainless steel case with an 18-karat yellow gold fluted bezel, a champagne dial with applied indices, and a two-tone Jubilee bracelet that adds just the right touch of glam. It's topped with an acrylic or sapphire crystal, depending on production year, and runs on the Rolex caliber 2135, an automatic movement known for its reliability and precision. In the 1990s, Carmela's Datejust would have retailed for around $3,000 to $4,000 USD. Today, a vintage reference 69173 in good condition trades for about $3,500 to $6,000, depending on dial, bracelet condition, and box and papers. A modern equivalent, like the reference 279173, would run you around $12,000 USD. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Which movie or TV show do you want me to cover next? Thanks again for checking out the watch list.